there'll be a quick intro thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be between you and me, Ron. Who wants to do it?
Uh, um,
Because Jake did it last week, but you weren't here, so it's one of
yeah.
those like between you and me who does the intro.
I think maybe I could do it. I mean, it's
Okay,
gonna be real quick.
that's fine. I mean, you know the timings and everything. So,
Do I?
well, I mean the it doesn't matter what you say as long as you say blank like at the
Oh, okay.
end.
Oh, bingo, 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 bingo.
That's really the only key. Um, but yeah, there'll be a short little, introduction thing for the start of the podcast because even though we stream live, the recording is cut down for the actual like podcast release. So there'll be a little intro music, and then the podcast will start officially. Uh, we'll do introductions and do a brief introduction of you. We'll go
Okay.
over all of the weekend of wrestling, Double or Nothing, Saturday Night Main Event, NXT, only because there was a title change there.
Okay.
And then probably we'll get right into grilling you on a deep personal level.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't think there's really any off-limit stuff. You feel the need to swear, go ahead.
Okay.
I always timestamp stuff if it gets really bad.
Poop.
Because if I mention, let's see, if I mention Flo Rida, that's a trigger. What's Jake's trigger? I'm trying to think. What's Jake's, like, if we really wanted to tick off Jake?
Winged Eagle sucks.
Oh yeah, that's one. The Winged Eagle
dirty
sucks. But I'm just letting you know, like, there's not really like, have to be kid friendly or anything like that.
That's not what you tell me. That's not what you tell me.
We have it specifically in your contract.
I was about to say, these are the exact opposite things of what you tell Ron every week before we start the show.
That's because Ron gets heavily edited.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions before we... because, I mean, we're live, but, like, obviously, like I said, we'll be snipping parts out for the official podcast itself. Do you have any questions before we get into it?
None so far.
Okay,
cool. Ready to get into it, yeah.
All right, we'll try to not hold you any longer than an hour. That's usually how long we go, and all of us have our own priorities and desires to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Music's up. We are live. Bot's doing its bot things. You got something for us, Ronathan?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. All right. Up. Turn this off so no one else interrupts me. There we go. All right, Ron. I've timestamped. We are good to go whenever you are.
Okay. Listen here, you stupid Mark. Never live in Dallas, Texas. This is the Quick Pop Podcast.
In the ring, we're talking loud. Ace shaking, raunchy, proud. Quick Pop Podcast all around. Wrestling fans, we break it down. Hear the slam, hear the roar. Every night we give you.
Hey everyone, this is the Quick Pop Podcast where the points are given away and nothing really matters. I'm Raunchy, the usual. I'm back after receiving not one, but 2 toad cars, a concussion, and a move. Oh, and also 2 weeks ago when I was not feeling well, I ended up having a fever that night. So I have been one sick individual. But also, speaking of sick individuals, Ace and Jake, how are y'all doing?
I just got hit with a tidal wave of information. Bruh, you good?
I took a bad, nasty fall while moving.
And towed cars?
EMT was called.
Cars and police and what?
Yeah.
What didn't happen to you on this move to Dallas?
Well, I
Was
didn't
there
go
a
to
felony?
California. No felonies yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Keyword. You are dealing
No.
with Comcast.
Well, it's better than dealing with
I get it. It's not
Spectrum.
Spectrum.
Spectrum is garbage. Dallas is garbage. Did you know a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Houston is 800, while in Dallas, where we used to live, was 2K?
Bruh.
Yeah. It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm so glad
Ron,
I'm
you
so
know
glad we
we're-
moved back.
You don't know we're all taking a trip to Dallas in July. You at least can lie to us. Like,
No.
you're like, hey guys, come visit me in Dallas. By the way, it sucks balls.
Dallas
Technically-
is horrible.
Technically, we're
hate it.
going to Arlington.
Yeah, Arlington
Oh,
is not
okay.
Dallas. Arlington's not
Yeah,
Dallas.
it's slightly different.
It's sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, so you're good.
Yeah. So,
However,
little
the
good,
Texas
little bad.
Rangers play there, and they're garbage.
Well, of course.
You're really selling me on it.
Yeah,
I mean, man,
absolutely.
Ron, I'm just looking forward to this trip now. Thank you for this.
Right.
Thank you for this right now.
Yeah,
this
not a
is-
problem.
Yeah,
So,
this is great. Thanks.
Now, Ace, you got a
Hey.
gift for us, right?
I do have a gift for you. I thought at first you said a GIF, and I was like, I do not have a GIF. I do have a gift for you because you put your body on the line to make sure that you were back the following week. And
Yeah.
you braved the depths that is Comcast, who lied to you and then made up for it by technically lying again, but in a positive way.
Right.
I have brought to you a good friend of mine who I met through absolute random happenstance that allowed us to realize how awesome of a dude he has to be. If you are here live, you will notice we have a fourth person. If you're here not live, first of all, shame on you, twitch.tv/Ace of Spades card. But second of all, thanks for listening, because we have a one. Now, I've wanted to ask this because I've described you to a couple of people. Is the J like one of those silent J's kind of thing, or like is it Joe, or you're like yo?
It's Joe.
Joe. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Johan. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. It is 8 a.m., so just having my coffee to sort of like wake myself up a little bit. So yeah, doing pretty all right.
That is, I mean, I get how time zones work, but it is still absolutely wild to me that we're sitting there going like, oh, man, we gotta get out of here and eat dinner. You're like, yeah, I just woke up, had my coffee, days in front of me, you guys are in front of me, and I'm just like,
Wait, it is
Absolutely.
8 a.m. where you are. Okay, so for me, it's 7 p.m. where I'm at. Can you tell us where you are?
I'm based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So it's like on the
Oh.
other side of the planet, basically.
if you're curious how that one job I almost got was gonna work out, this is how it would work out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
What have you been up to lately? I'm really gonna let you like dive in here in a few minutes once we go over the current affairs, but what have you been up to lately?
I would say that this has been one of the craziest years of my life, I would say. Started off on a pretty lukewarm note for a bit, and then went over to Japan in early February to be on a Japanese TV show, doing some singing and impersonating. And then and then the show got aired on March 1st. Before that, I was taking a bit of a break from streaming until I made the huge announcement when I came back. And then, yeah, life went on. Still streaming to this day. Still doing what I can. And then in April, some of you may or may not know this, but I finally, after 5 years of avoiding it, I finally got COVID, which really sucked.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I didn't get to like properly celebrate my birthday that during that period. So I had to sort of like do a belated birthday stream the weekend after, once I was okay. And yeah, here we are in May as well. May was a bit of a busy month because I was doing well. I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, May's also a busy month because it is St. Jude Play Live Challenge season. So I'm also like fundraising for St. Jude, just like Ace is doing as well. You can see the link to his Tiltify pages in the chat. So feel free to donate to his cause too, to his fundraiser. But yeah, other than that, yeah, been pretty busy, but just taking everything, one step at a time.
My favorite part of this is I knew like a large chunk of this, but now that you're getting to say this too, watching Ron's eyes light up, like, oh, tell me more. Like I knew as soon as you.
Do I save that for later, or do I just dive right in?
No. We're gonna save it for in just a second because we do want to. We want to go over the current affairs.
TV show. I'm like, I have 10 questions right now.
I know, right?
He said Japanese TV show, and I was listening to him. I'm like, yeah, and then I just saw Ron go.
I have never been so attentive.
Yeah.
That's all it took. So we do want to go over our current affairs before we dive deep into our new friend's amazing life. Did anyone... Okay, it feels weird to bring this up because apparently the curse continues, if you can call it a curse. Double or Nothing happened on Sunday. There was also, we'll cover real briefly, there was also a Saturday night main event. I don't think anything majorly big happened on Saturday night main event.
R-Truth has a great new shirt.
He does have a great... R-Truth has a shirt that I am like this close to finding out if I can purchase it, like if I have the funds to do so.
Right.
Chelsea Green got absolutely mollywopped to the point where people are thinking like, oh, that match was not supposed to end that fast. Jesse DeBody Ventura still doesn't understand how cage matches work. That was really funny. And I think that's about it.
Bronson Reed joined Seth Rollins' stable.
That is true. The guy that apparently was really upset with Seth Rollins to the point of hitting him with tsunami after tsunami came back and was like, you know what? Maybe that guy's pretty chill.
He took the tsunamis. There's an amount of respect there,
right?
So I think he's feeling it. Yeah,
he's like, you know what? I nearly killed him. I nearly killed me, but I nearly killed him. We'll partner up,
right?
There was also NXT had their little PLE,
which they stole swords from Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, if you look at their Battleground Tampa promos, there are a couple swords in the middle, and someone found out that those swords actually came from the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, a Bethesda game, and I thought it was really neat because this is like the second time they stole from Skyrim. Because I want to say they took a shield for the Viking Raiders, the Viking Experience, a while back.
The way I would look at it is that game's been re-released so many times that you're likely to have found.
To quote Todd Howard, it just works.
It just works.
It just works.
For the fact that it doesn't, and you have to mod it with an unofficial patch and then high-res textures. And anyway, but that's not really what to me was the meat and potatoes of the weekend. The meat and the potatoes of the weekend was good old Double or Nothing at old AE Dub.
First time they had it in Arizona.
That is first time.
You're coming out of Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, aside from the 2021 edition, which was in Daly's
Chicago.
Place.
No. Yeah, Daly's Place. You're right.
Oh, no, you're correct. Yeah, especially because of COVID.
Yep.
Yeah.
2020 as well, I think. Now I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, put him on the quiz show. Gosh.
Okay. I see you, Johan.
There was one of my favorite things is 1 week before Jake quizzed me on, or he like, I don't want to say quizzed me, he like grilled me on what I thought were going to be some of the big match winners, because I famously do not get to watch AEW stuff. I don't have the ability to easily watch the AEW pay-per-views. And AEW's big nights are Wednesday and Saturday, both of which are notoriously booked up for me. So I don't get to watch AEW content. I keep up with it, but I don't get to watch it live. So Jake asked me a bunch of different, who I think was one. And what I was most amused by is one of the ones that won me the pick'em was because I picked. It's the Cowboy wins. Adam Page.
I don't.
Darn you, Ace.
I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated because I literally thought the match was going to end somewhere around like the 25, 27-minute mark, because that was when Ospreay did the Styles Clash onto the ground, and I saw Paige just not getting up. I'm like, they're really gonna end it like this? I mean, okay, but I mean, I'm gonna shine that belt up real nice, and it went on for another 10 minutes, and Hanger won, which I'm so happy that he did, because we get to see him in the main event at All In, at Y'all In.
Y'all In. Because I think
about
that's
that.
why I picked him, because we were picking, because it was like the cup final, so it was like whoever wins goes on to All In, and I picked Hangman Adam Page because I was like, yeah, the Cowboy has to go to Y'all In. That's just, it goes without saying. And Jake was like, "What? Are you kidding? It's Ospreay, you know. Of course he's got." So the fact that like I stuck to my guns, voted for the Cowboy, Hangman Adam Page, and he pulled it off. If you don't know, John, I don't remember if we've mentioned this. For every pay-per-view, we do a pick'em. Mm-hmm. Whoever gets the most right is the Quick Pop Pick'em champion. And we even have a belt. I don't have it on me. I should have planned for this better, but we have like a physical belt, and there will be I'll probably just hand it over and let you hang on to it, Ronathan. Just let it show it's your place, because I was going to send it, but then we didn't get it sent out, and then you were going to move, so I was like, well, I don't want to get lost in the mail trying to get to you. So at this point, it's still in Memphis. When we go to Y'all In, it's going to travel with us and probably live in Texas for a while, because he's never physically held it, so let him hold it for a while. But yeah, we have a quick pick'em champ, and I have managed to win again on an AEW pay-per-view, which is hilarious because I don't watch. I keep winning the AEW pay-per-view events.
Now, I have a question real quick concerning Double or Nothing. How did we feel about Anarchy in the Arena this year?
I thought it was very well done. A bunch of people are acting like it is the best one. I think last year was so much crazier than this year. Like last year, people were getting set on fire. People were getting hung by their feet and super kicked to the face with thumbtacks. I thought this one was a very serviceable one and a very fun, but I don't think it stacks up to some of the craziness we've seen in years past.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Jake there as well. I mean, I enjoyed this year's Anarchy in the Arena. It might be a bit too crazy because there were 12 people involved in that match, and then you get a few random, well, not to say random run-ins, because some of these are you can kind of see it actually happening, but I kind of enjoyed it kind of leaves me wanting to see what happens next. Like for instance, when Hook came out to attack Claudio Castagnoli with that golf club, and then Samoa Joe tried to call him in and hey, come join us, and he just left. So I kind of have this feeling that there's a bit of animosity because Hook got injured, but the Ops still went on without him to win the trios title, and so maybe there might be a bit of animosity and conflict there as well. So it does leave me wanting to see what happens next, especially since Hook has been out for quite a while and he was not even mentioned because ever since that. So yeah, but I agree with Jake. I think last year's Anarchy in the Arena was a lot crazier, with Jack Perry getting set on fire, and then Darby Allin being hot tied and then getting super kicked, the exploding chair as well. I mean, thankfully there was some sort of explosion that happened towards the end of this year's Anarchy in the Arena, because I was waiting, there's got to be something, right? And then it happened. But yeah, it's really hard to stack it up with all the other ones. But I think if I have to rank it, I would say it is this year's one probably came in second to last year's.
So I think I am having a conversation with myself with Anarchy in the Arena. there's the sicko part of me that's like, oh, I love absolutely everything that's going on. It's so crazy, it's wild, it's chaotic. I'm here for it. But then there's another part of me that feels like it's so chaotic that I can't pay attention because there's so much happening. And of course, you have the 4 screens trying to keep up with absolutely everything. And I think the best way to digest Anarchy in the Arena, and I've heard this everywhere, is that you need to be in the arena for it. One thing that I absolutely really loved, as usual, it's their use of music. You had the Young Bucks come out last, and they had this colonial spirit, and it was just playing throughout the match. And I was like, this is some of the corniest stuff I've ever heard. And then you switch over to I guess what was their Dynamite intro. Then Kenny got the mic and he's like, let's take it back to the 90s. And I never thought I would hear Drowning Pool on repeat over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, I'm hyped for this. Let's go. But yeah, I think last year's Anarchy in the Arena was absolutely amazing. The Anarchy in the Arena with Eddie Kingston, that's still my all-time favorite.
Yeah, that was a great one.
This one wasn't bad. I think I'm burnt out on it, but it's a very weird burnt out. If it happened again, I will watch it again. But
I think they did the right move of making Ospreay Hanger the main event, and just putting Anarchy and Arena kind of in the middle of the show, because it gives you the bit, like you said, it hypes the crowd. If you're there, you're probably going crazy for it. So it gives the crowd that hit of adrenaline, but at the same time, it wasn't the match that needed to close the show. Because you said, I do think some people are starting to get burned out on it. And I think it's also how do you top last year's? It's at that point where it's starting to get harder to top.
Right.
I will say though, the best thing, one of the best things about this year's Anarchy in the Arena is the involvement of women as well. The fact that they put in Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir was a really good touch, considering that these two have been clashing for the past few months as well. So it only makes sense that they be part of the match with the Ops, with Kenny Omega, with Swerve Strickland, with the rest of the Death Riders, and of course the Young Bucks as well. So I thought that was a really good touch by putting the both of them in this actual match as well. Yeah, I agree with what Jake said as well. I think it was a good move, to not have this match go on last. But on one hand, it would have been great to have it go on last, because I don't think women have headlined any AEW pay-per-views to my recollection. So having them be part of the main event would have been great. But at the same time, I think the placement of where this match laid as well was totally okay.
How do you feel about that, Ron? About women not headlining?
They need a headline. They should have pulled the trigger with Mariah May and Tony Storm.
Agreed.
Yes, they need a headline.
Agreed.
That should have been the time they did it. 100%.
But with Anarchy in the Arena, they got the spotlight, and also there was some mixed gender, intergender shenanigans going on, because you had Marina Shafir take the Snapdragon. You had Willow doing a double clothesline. It was good. Willow and Marina Shafir were well utilized in that, and I was really, really stoked. It was a good time. It was a chaotic time. I was overwhelmed at the end of it. I was like, oh, this is just too much, man. This is too much. But overall, I think Double or Nothing was, honestly, this was one of their better Double or Nothings. And I like that they always had the callback is 6 years ago today, AEW became a company, and here's our flagship show. And nice reminders.
Yeah, it's nice because AEW doesn't have an official, for lack of a better way of saying it, WrestleMania or Super Bowl. They don't have their biggest night for the company yet. It's because they put all of their stock into the big four, or I think it's about the big six now. before they had all the little one-offs and stuff.
Mhm.
They had like I think 5 or 6 like big
Mhm.
quote pay-per-views.
Well, I mean, they're building All In to be the WrestleMania.
Well, that's what I'm
of
curious
AEW.
about is because I would feel like Double or Nothing because it's your company's start should be your quote mania,
You know,
your AE mania. I don't know.
and then they gotta put Double or Nothing in a stadium.
They got to put Timeless Tony on
They gotta put Timeless Tony in a stadium.
main event.
Yeah, I mean they're doing that now as well with All In coming out.
Yeah.
All In coming up in a few months. So
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we're
got
so-
Tony and
we're so
Mercedes.
stoked.
Yeah.
We're so stoked.
that's
Quick
about
Pop
as
will
big that's about as big of a match that you can make at this point. And the fact that the both of them are champions as well. I mean, I mean the pessimist in me is saying that that's not going to be the one that's going to close the show. It's obviously going to be Moxley and Hangman, but I would have actually would prefer the two women closing the show because I mean that's like in terms of women's wrestling in the United States, that's like the biggest match you can make with like with Tony Storm being easily the best gimmick in wrestling today and having amazing runs with the women's world championship, and then you've got Mercedes Moné who I don't really have to say a lot about her. She's always been great since she was in WWE, and now she gets to spread her wings and go places, go everywhere she wants to go to. She's really she's really putting herself out there as easily and making the argument and the case for being one of the best today as well.
Oh,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Like that match, Hangman if he defeats Moxley and bringing out that title is like the moment, but Mercedes and Tony could be the match of that show. That should and maybe could close that show.
mhm.
I mean, there's going to be 3 matches that could possibly happen, with one of them being speculatory. So we have Moxley and Page, we have Mercedes and Timeless, and then the one that I'm really hoping for is Okada Omega unifying the Continental and the International Championship. I would love to see Okada Omega 5, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, easily. Let me ask you guys this before we jump off this. I'm curious just to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions. Where does Ospreay go from here? Where, with All In looming and that being one of their biggest events, where do y'all think Ospreay lands on that card?
If they didn't already deliver Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, I would have been like, let's go for it. I mean, honestly, they could just do it again.
That's true.
They could just do it again. Give me Ospreay Fletcher. I will be happy with it. Let's see. They had it in steel cage. Yeah, just make it no holds barred. Make it an unsanctioned match. Turn the lights down low. I mean, it's Texas, baby. You got to do what you got to do.
Texas Death Match. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Texas Death Match with Ospreay and Fletcher. Inject that to my veins. I love that. I love that. Main event. That's the main event.
No, we just
4
said
main
we were gonna
events.
have women.
4 main events.
No, we just said women.
Okay, no. Mercedes and Tony, they'll end the night. But let's do what everyone else is doing. It's like, oh, these are all co-main events. Let's go.
We have the 4 co-main events.
Yeah. But give
Yeah.
Tony the ending.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very interesting question you put out as well, because at this point in time, I don't think Ospreay's involved in. I mean, then again, he just got done with the match he had with Hangman Page as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what's next for him when this week's Dynamite happen as well. I mean, obviously, running it back with Fletcher would be good, but I think unless something happens in between, I do think that Fletcher is probably going to be gunning for Adam Cole's TNT title, because that seems to be where he's where they're taking his where they're taking him with. I don't remember, but I think one of the Lucha Libre fan accounts pointed out something very, very interesting and very intriguing, which it could happen at All In, it could happen anywhere else. But I mean, if it happens at All In, that'll be great. But that's a potential dream match. Maybe that there may not be a storyline or an angle or something attached to it, but for me, if I see two guys just putting on a great match together, that's more than enough to make me happy. And one guy pointed out, hey, we could actually have Will Ospreay taking on Mystico from CMLL, and that would be a great match. And I was like thinking, now that I think about it, I don't think these two guys have ever had a match together. And Mystico, even though he's like, early 40s as well, because he's been around for a long time, dude still moves like he was like, 10, 20 years ago. So I'm totally all for it if they ever have a singles match against each other. So, and
then also Texas loves Lucha Libre. Like, whenever AEW is in town, they make sure they load that card up with luchadors and people from CMLL. So that's a great point. That is a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Inject that into my veins. Fifth main event. Here we go.
Yeah.
Fifth main event. The only thing that comes to my mind, and I think they'd probably save it for Forbidden Door, is Ospreay versus Gabe Kidd.
Ooh.
Because Gabe Kidd has just popped into AEW.
Yeah.
Him and Ospreay has that history. They have all the social media back and forth. I can see in the next 2 months you kind of lead to Ospreay kind of feuding with the Death Riders to help out Hangman, and you switch that into Ospreay versus Gabe Kidd.
I'm here for it.
I mean, dude, any of these ideas work for me. Like, they are all solid.
Yeah, 6 main event. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the last time Ospreay and Kidd,
twice.
Yeah, the last time Ospreay and Kidd clashed each other, Ospreay knocked out Kidd as well with his hidden blade. So there's already a story there. So it's a possibility it could happen at Forbidden Door. But yeah, very interesting to see how that card will shape up as well with especially when you look at the current landscape over in New Japan, over in Stardom, over in CMLL, since those are the three companies that are going to be working with New Japan for that show. So very, very intrigued to see how that is going to play out as well.
Yeah.
Now, I guess kind of is like it's crazy. Like Hiroshi Goto ended up becoming IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
He deserved it. After all that time.
Yeah,
and the funny thing was, Goto.
Yeah, and the funny thing was he won that title the last day I was actually in Japan. So I was like, I'm having coffee, waiting to meet up with the producer of the show I was on, so he could take me to the airport as well. And then I'm like looking through Twitter, and I'm like, whoa, shit, Goto ended up becoming world heavyweight world champion after all these years, all these decades of people wanting him to be the top guy. And he's doing a very good job at it. I didn't think his reign was going to last as long as it is right now.
Right.
So, yeah, I can't be any more happier for him.
No, I'm super stoked about it. But I'm just going to nip it in the bud right now. I am done talking about Double or Nothing. I want to know about your trip to Japan. I want to know about the shows. I want to know about you.
Yes.
Okay.
Ron, yes.
Yes. I need to know. I need to know right now.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Because I think it was maybe mentioned, but I've had a concussion since then. So I need to. And Ace is rolling his eyes. Hey,
you're gonna use
I'm going from point A to point B. I am zipping through. I just mean
like you'll do the pick'em or you'll lose the title. You're like, well, I
had a concussion.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I can't use that next week. I am using this excuse right now. So
that's why you lost,
right? So Johan,
yeah,
what do you do?
Okay, so for the past, I would say coming up to 25 years already, I have been performing on stage, doing singing, dancing, all of that as well. I started out in musical theater when in my early days, thanks to my mom, encouraging me to perform on stage. And then, after so many years of like doing theater shows and stuff, I branched out to performing at anime conventions because I was really knee deep into J-pop as well. And I figured, I kind of need an outlet to sort of like do what I love to do, sing the songs I love to sing. Even though it's in a language that's foreign to me, but I'm like, you know what, just go out and do my thing. And yeah, I've been grinding it out for a long time, and there was a show that used to air in Japan called Nodojiman the World, and I said to myself, someday I'd love to be on that show, but years and years of applying for it, and I never got on. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and just see what happens next. And then 2023 happened, and during the past several years, a lot of crazy shit happened as well in my life, and eventually, all the toxicity and drama that's been going on with certain communities left me suffering from PTSD as well, which caused me to not sing anymore because whenever I try to sing, it just messes me up. And I thought it was over. I was already content with not being able to sing for the rest of my life until late September. Because what happened was I had a few friends from different countries who have taken part in a show that is kind of new. It's called Monomane the World. Monomane being the Japanese word for impersonation or imitation, but it works very similarly to the previous show that I mentioned earlier, which unfortunately got canned from September 2019 onwards and has never returned again. So there's another show that's sort of like, in the ashes of what was the previous show. Although, funny enough, it is from a different TV station. So, but I didn't really. I mean, it looked pretty good, but it didn't sort of like, it didn't convince me to like give it a try or anything until one of the producers of the show actually emailed me. He found my email. He emailed me asking if I wanted to take part in it. And but of course I have to go through an audition process, and it was a very, very long and, dare I say, pretty stressful audition process. But after a few months, they finally announced to me that I got in, and so I flew my ass over to Japan in February for the shoot, and it was my very first trip to Japan in years. The last time I went there was in 2009, so a lot of things have changed as well. But it was without question the single biggest experience of my life. There were a lot of things that I learned through the 2 days. Well, technically 3, because we did a scene where they filmed my arrival in Japan, because I landed in Haneda International Airport in Tokyo, which for some reason they don't allow filming there. They do allow filming in Narita Airport, which is a lot more further, but for some reason they don't allow filming there. So anyone who flies into Haneda, they will have to do an arrival scene like somewhere else. So they took me to the Sumida River, which is near the Tokyo Skytree, because the song that I was singing came from a Japanese drama where that area itself was used as a recurring backdrop, a recurring location during the drama. So yeah, it was an amazing time. I was the first Malaysian to be on there, and there were other participants from different parts of the world. There was there was a participant from Spain, there were participants from Italy, from the Philippines, from Indonesia, from Brazil. There was a guy from India, but he currently lives in LA. And funny enough, we're talking about All In as well. One of the contestants is from Dallas, from the US. So I thought that was kind of cool too. Yeah. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. And for me, when I had this thought about, when I had this dream about wanting to be on a Japanese TV show way back in 2013, and now 12 years later, it finally happened. I mean, obviously, a part of me wishes it would have happened much, much earlier, but better late than never. it was great. Would I want to do it again? Absolutely, but only if they call me back or if any other opportunity arises. So
So
right
was
now, yeah, right now I'm just waiting for that chance again. But for the time being, I'm just like, doing my thing, streaming and all that. So yeah.
was the show like a competition show, or it's like a platform to you to showcase your talent?
It's a competition show. I mean, the great thing about it, and this is surreal for me because they actually did bring in like Japanese celebrities, actors, actresses, idol singers, comedians, and musicians and the like to be the judges as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that each of them get to vote for who they think should move on into the finals. And basically there were 12 of us, and we were all divided into three blocks of 4 each. So they were all like vote to see who they want to bring to send into the finals, which I think is pretty cool because the other show used like a sort of like a scoring system, which the judge, which the celebrities judge, the celebrities were not involved in the judging and whatnot. So I thought this was a pretty cool thing for them to do as well. And it's still, yeah, I mean, the fact that I got to do something like that is already amazing. And I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think there are any Malaysians who have been on national TV singing in a language foreign to their own. So
Mm-hmm.
I may have actually been the first, and that's something that no one's gonna be able to take away from me.
Oh,
But
I love that.
I didn't win, but I still walked out feeling like a
Hey,
winner because I
you
got
did
to
it.
do something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to. Well, the funny thing is, when I told the producer, I thanked him. I said, "Thanks for making my dream come true." He said, "You know what? Your dream is not over yet because because he still would love to see me actually win it someday." So
Mhm.
yeah, let's just say that I'm going through what I guess would be kind of like my Cody Rhodes arc where I need to finish my story. So
There
hopefully
you
that will
go.
happen someday. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now
But I
I'm
think one of my biggest regrets going to Japan was not being able to catch a wrestling show because a lot of the shows,
right.
like a lot of the cards that a lot of the promotions I would have wanted to see, I don't think they were running Korakuen Hall or anything like that. I know Stardom had a New Blood show, but it was like quite far away, and New Japan at the time was touring, so I didn't get to like watch anything else as well. But that's okay because I had a lot of other things that I needed to do there, and I was able to get some New Japan merch in Akihabara as well, so I'm very happy
Oh,
with that.
nice.
Yeah.
No, I love that. So did you I don't know your lifestyle or anything like that, man. So I just gotta go ahead and ask. Like, did you take a visit to Kabukicho?
Very, very briefly.
Oh, okay.
But it's for a reason that nobody would ever expect. It was actually my dad who quote unquote ordered me to go to Kabukicho because they have this thing because in certain parts of Japan they have like this live security camera thing where you can see like people walking around and such. So he wanted me to be there just so he could see me on that YouTube
Oh,
that
nice.
YouTube stream as well. And it was a bit of a struggle because obviously what you see on YouTube is not captured live picture to picture kind of thing, because there's a bit of like a delay, there's a bit of lag, there's a bit of like latency issues as well. So it did take a bit of a while to get used to it. And I kept trying to tell my dad to hurry up because Kabukicho is a great place. I'm not gonna, I was only there briefly, but as a foreigner, if you're going there, it is highly recommend that you bring someone with you, preferably someone who is Japanese as well, because you got these guys who are like, they are working for brothels and asking you to, have some sexy time with their girls
host
as well,
clubs and everything.
Yeah, the host clubs and all that. Yeah, they were asking me that. There are people who are coming up to me asking me that, and I just had to like, obviously I had to refuse because, well, it's gonna cost a lot of it's gonna cost a lot of money, and I don't have time for that. I was also
Right.
gonna go and meet up with my friends at nearby Nakano Broadway. So, I just told my dad to hurry it up, and so I can hightail out of that and make it over to Nakano Broadway in time to meet my friends as well. So, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever go back there again because I don't really, I don't really like. I don't know what else is there for me to do in Kabukicho, but yeah, we'll,
Yeah, no,
we'll see
that's
what
one of the
happens.
places that, like, if I ever visit Japan, like, that's one of the places I'm gonna go there. Want to go to Shinjuku.
Mhm.
Like, definitely just like take it all in. Now, I you wanted to see like wrestling shows. Like, how long of a fan have you been of wrestling, and have you done anything like wrestling related since? Obviously, theater background. Like, I have a theater background too, and that was something that
Mhm.
they always like. If you watch wrestling, it's literally just a physical drama. So I
Yeah.
want to know, like, what got you into wrestling, and do you do anything with wrestling now?
I honestly, I don't remember how I actually got into it, but I did remember watching WWF Rampage 92, the Coliseum video release, like way back when this was like early 93. I think I was 8 years old at that time. So it was a very, very long time. And the first match I remember watching was Shawn Michaels challenging Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. And then I remember the main event of that video release was, I think it was the Ultimate Warrior and the Undertaker taking on Papa Shango and the Berserker, and I think that was what. And since watching that, I got hooked, and one thing led to another, and also it was also during that time, which I was very fortunate as well, because at that time my grandparents were just vacationing somewhere, and somehow they ended up getting like a VHS of WCW Wrestle War 92, which featured, in my opinion, the greatest War Games match ever, which is Sting Squadron taking on the Dangerous Alliance. And I've always been very thankful to my grandparents for randomly getting a WCW video randomly getting a WCW video, because I think it's always important to know, especially for a lot of fans these days, that there are plenty of promotions out there to consume, plenty of promotions out there to be a fan of. And I think, you know, I feel like now in this day and age, with everything being online, streaming services and such, I think we're really, really spoiled for choice with a lot of promotions that we can watch these days. So yeah, but it all really started. It all started there for me, and then I started playing a lot of wrestling video games. I started collecting a lot of magazines, trying to like learn more about what wrestling is like, not just in WWF or later on eventually WWE and then WCW and ECW, but everywhere else. Like I knew about New Japan and All Japan when I was a kid. I knew about AAA and CMLL as a kid as well. So and then finally, now that everything is a lot more accessible to watch, it's pretty surreal that I get to watch all of these promotions and further beyond, like all the stuff that happens in the UK and Europe as well, and some of the stuff that we see in Australia and in Australia too. As for my involvement in wrestling, so there's a promotion called Malaysia Pro Wrestling that started in 2014. It was like I wasn't into it at first because at that time I didn't know that there was actually a wrestling scene then back then. But about a year later, the guy who used to run Malaysia Pro Wrestling, he invited me to at first do play-by-play announcing for a few matches that they were running, and after that, there were a lot of reshuffling behind the scenes as well. And somehow I find myself ring announcing for Malaysia Pro Wrestling as well, and it has been crazy. It has been crazy because I've been doing it for, as far as ring announcing is concerned, play-by-play announcing, I've been doing it for almost 10 years already. And the same goes for ring announcing. I'll be hitting my 10th year as a ring announcer next year. And yeah, but there were a lot of things that happened in between as well. there was actually another promotion that was supposedly started at first to be something pretty big, because they brought in they brought in big they brought in known independent wrestlers from overseas. They even brought in um uh former and future WWE stars as well onto the show. I even had the chance to, ring announce for guys like for guys like Kai, who is currently in Dragon Gate, for guys like Ho Ho Loon as well, who's also in Dragon Gate now. And then I even got to announce Tajiri once. I got to announce and then within my PW as well, which is what we call Malaysia Pro Wrestling for short. I got to announce wrestlers like Emi Sakura. I got to announce Robbie Eagles. I got to announce Chris Weiss. Shaheen as well, who's been making a name for himself everywhere he goes, and it's been great. But the guy who runs Malaysia Pro Wrestling, he started out his own promotion, another promotion, which is like our competition as well, elsewhere. And around that time, this was during COVID lockdowns, and I felt like I felt like there was nothing else I can do at this point in time, so I called it quits, and quote unquote retired from ring announcing until the guy who runs it now, which is Iman Azman, who has spent a good chunk of his career wrestling in Australia, because he was studying in Australia at that time. So he was making a name for himself wrestling in Melbourne City Wrestling, Renegades of Wrestling, and such. So he was asking me if I want to come back to announce for Malaysia Pro Wrestling again, because to him, there is no one else who can do the job better than me. So, and he's always been very supportive of me as well. So it was not that difficult for me to turn down his offer. So since then, I've been back doing ring announcing. I just got done ring announcing a show that we did in early May as well, and we've got a show coming up in a few months as well, which we haven't announced yet, but stay tuned for it. And aside from that, I also record commentary in post as well. And yeah, it's been, my journey with Malaysia Pro Wrestling has been amazing. There's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs, a lot of lows as well. But yeah, it's been great sticking around with the promotion that I started off with as an announcer. And yeah, to be honest, I don't even know how much longer I still have it in me to do it. But as long as I'm able to give these guys the introduction that they deserve for their matches, yeah, I'm going to continue doing it.
What would be your most memorable moment with Malaysia Pro Wrestling? Like, was it the ring announcing? Was it the play-by-play? Or was it just meeting one of the wrestlers that you've had your eye on for a while?
Okay. Oh man, there's a lot. I can't even stick to one. Okay, I can't even stick to one. So, okay, so one of the earliest memories that I've had was when Dick Togo came to wrestle for one of our shows. He actually came before that to be part of sort of part of an angle of some sort as well. But he came by to wrestle for another show that we did. That was surreal to me, because prior to that, I had already seen Men's Teo wrestle live. No, wait. First, it was Funaki who wrestled on a WWF house show when they came to Malaysia a long time ago. Then, about a year later, I got to see Men's Teo on a Big Japan show. And then I got to see Taka Michinoku wrestle for an All Japan show. And I'm gonna just throw in Kaz Hayashi in there as well, because he did wrestle under a mask as Shiryu at one point. And then I got to see Dick Togo as well. Actually, I did get to see Dick Togo wrestle about 10, 11 years prior to seeing him, to ring announcing him as well, because he was on a M Style show, which is a now defunct Joshi Pro Wrest promotion in Japan as well. And it's kind of crazy, because in that sense, I got to see like all four plus one members of Kai and Tai wrestle live at some point. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I have taken a few bumps in the ring before as well, just for like storyline purposes too. And I've had some memorable moments where Malaysia Pro Wrestling got to work with our friends over in Singapore, Grapple Max Pro Wrestling as well. So so some of my memorable moments was going over to, because we do have a few shows working with them called Causeway Jam, where we bring in guys from my PW and have them face off against Grapple Max for like Malaysia versus Singapore supremacy kind of thing. So I remembered being asked to work heel for the first show that we did back in 2018, and I had a pretty good time. I had a pretty good time working heel as well, which was pretty surreal for me because I never considered myself like a bad person or a bad guy, but it was a lot of fun. I did take a bump that day as well, which was kind of interesting too. But when we did two other Causeway Jams last year, and one of which actually did take place in Malaysia for the first time, and so we decided to do, so myself and the ring announcer for Grapple Max, who also wrestled for a brief while in Grapple Max as well, we decided to finally bookend the little story that we had dating back in 2018. So it was, I think we were a few days shy of Jake the Snake Roberts' birthday. So I figured, you know what, why don't I just give him a DDT like after the show is over in the ring? And it was like, it was one of the coolest things that ever happened. But at the same time, it was like, okay, now we've put that story to rest. We can just move on and do our thing now. But it was one of my favorite moments as well because, yeah, I took a few bumps in the ring before, but this is the first time I actually dished out something like that. So I thought that was a pretty cool moment.
Now, Jake, Ace, do you guys have any questions? Because I have just been firing.
I'll go. So you said that you took some bumps in storylines. How involved were you in the creative? Did they just tell you what they needed of you? Did you get to have any input in the story going forward?
Well, the first time I quote unquote took a bump was there was an anime convention that was running at that time. There was an anime convention that was going on, and Malaysia Pro Wrestling got to be, they had a huge part in it because we did run a few. We ran a few shows. We did run like 2 cards for the 2 days there, and one of the wrestlers was getting over, even though he was supposed to work heel because he was a guy who was part of the cosplay community as well. So he got cheered, and I was like, hey, why don't you shove me to the mat so you can get a bit of heat as well, which he did, and he did get a bit of heat as well because of that. So that was sort of like my creative input. The other time I took a bump was more of like a thing where one guy was upset that he got screwed out of winning our top title at that time, and so he went on a rampage attacking just about everyone, and he asked me if I wanted to take a bump as well to further selling his rage and whatnot. So I said, yeah, I would totally take a bump if you need me to, because I might as well be a team player in that sense as well. The funny thing was, it happened so quickly because I thought there was going to be like a delay in between when he was going to pull off. I think it was an Uranage that he hit me with. So I thought it was going to be like a bit of a delay, but the moment I got into the ring, he immediately hit me with it. And the only thing in my mind that I could think about was, okay, you got to tuck your chin, and it happened as well. But yeah, for people who say things like, oh, wrestling is fake, it's predetermined and whatnot. I mean, yes, it is predetermined, it is scripted, but nothing can prepare you for getting slammed in the ring. And my back and my neck and my shoulder were sore for like about a week plus, especially since I don't even train or wrestle as well. But we did go over the move like before the show started, so that was a good thing at least. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of creative input. Sometimes I would like, tongue in cheek throw in a one-liner and it sticks as well. So yeah, sometimes I don't really have much creative input, but if it works, it works, and we all just run with it.
In doing re-announcing, not re-announcing, sorry. Let me restart, guys. I'm drunk here.
Yeah.
You popped me with that one.
In doing play-by-play, you said you had to do some recording afterwards of play-by-play. Was there certain lines they wanted you to say? Did they give you enough freedom for you to kind of create your own play-by-play of the match, or did they need you to stick to something?
Generally, they would give me freedom to say or do whatever I want to do, whatever I want to do as well, because we are an independent company. We don't have a TV deal or anything like that. So so anything pretty much goes. If I want to like touch on a wrestler's history from like if they were to wrestle in other promotions, I would do that as well, just to sort of like sell these guys, give them the background that they need, have like fans in watching, get invested in them, which I think is one of the fun parts about doing commentary, because that's when I can flex off whatever knowledge I have of certain wrestlers, of certain promotions as well. But yeah, sometimes they will also tell me like what they need to do, like if there's a certain story that I need to like emphasize on, if there's a certain move that I need to sell to the fans about regarding who's in the ring as well, and such. But generally it's like they just give me the freedom to like say whatever I need to say and such. And of course, I think with the fact that it's recorded, it can be a bit tough because you don't get to, I mean, I was there at all the shows, and I remember like getting the feel of the crowd and emotions. But I think doing commentary live at a show is a whole lot better. And I've done commentary live at a show before a few times, which is great because you're in the moment. You get to feed off the energy from the crowd as well, and you get to sell every single moment that happens in the ring. The only downside is the audio people that used to like work that we work with. They don't seem to understand what I want and how things go, and as a result, my commentary is piped into their audio system where everyone can hear, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the wrestlers themselves. So. And the thing with me is it's kind of funny because I sing as well. Sometimes I just don't like hearing my own voice, being blasted through the speakers as well. So yeah, I was never really a fan of that. I mean, I don't mind doing it in post as well, but the only drawback with doing it in post is that it doesn't feel the same as doing commentary live on the spot. So hopefully there'll be someday where we can actually make that happen. I mean, it is possible, but it's going to take a lot of manpower to make it happen. But yeah, generally I have a lot of fun doing commentary where I get to, do the things I want to do, say the things I want to say, and sell whatever story, whatever angle, and whatever information I can put out there as well.
Is there anything else in the wrestle world that like you would like to do through this promotion? Is there anything you haven't touched that you would like to be like, oh, that one thing, I wish I could do that, or I'd like to do more of that?
So I mean, this is a bit this is kind of like a bit of a long shot, a bit out of the way as well. But so what happened was that I think it was early last year, late 2023, I think, New Japan started to do like this partnership of sorts with promotions within the Asia Pacific region. So Grapple Max is a part of this partnership, and Setup, which is based in Thailand, is also part of this partnership. And we at Malaysia Pro Wrestling, we do have very good working relationships with Grapple Max and Setup as well. Matter of fact, I've been friends with Greg Ho, who also wrestles as End Boss Gregory once in a while over in Grapple Max as well. I've been good friends with him. And I'm also friends with Pumi, who runs Setup Thailand. Matter of fact, Pumi was at our show as a guest as well to check out the main event that happened in our last show as well. So a part of me wishes that Malaysia Pro Wrestling could be a part of this alliance of sorts, because well, one of my dreams would be to announce wrestlers from New Japan and from Stardom, but it just so happens that and it's a bit heartbreaking for me. It just so happens that Tam Nakano retired earlier this year. Well, actually last month, in quite possibly my favorite match of the year thus far, when she challenged Saya Kamitani for the World of Stardom Championship. which also included one of the most cinematic endings I've ever seen for a wrestling show thus far. So yeah, she's retired. So I'm like, damn, I never got the chance to ring announce her. And Hiroshi Tanahashi is one of, if not my favorite wrestler of all time. And he's retiring next year at Wrestle Kingdom as well. So it's like, yeah, two wrestlers who I would love to announce. That's probably never gonna happen. But yeah, if we ever get to be part of this alliance, that would be great, because there hasn't been a promotion from Malaysia who's part of that alliance yet, and it'll be so good to be a part of it someday. So yeah, that's kind of like my bucket list of sorts that I've not done yet, which is announce wrestlers from New Japan or Stardom. But if it ever happens, that'll be great. If not, at least I got to do 10 years of ring announcing. And who knows how much longer I'll be able to do as well. So we'll see. But generally, I'm content with what I've been doing for Malaysia Pro Wrestling. And if there are big things that could happen after this, great. But if not, I'm just happy I got to do what I've done so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Doing what we love
Yep.
and loving what we do, man. That's awesome stuff. Hey, before I take up any more of his time, do you have any questions left for our guest?
No, see, because I've known him for about a year now. The way I found Johan was actually
fine, Ace, fine.
not known at
Are
all.
you big time in us, Ace? Are you big time in us right now?
I think he's big time in us, Ron. I feel big time.
I feel big time. He knows a celebrity, and now he's like on top of the world and everything.
Well, one of us is the champ, and the other two aren't. But no,
I
I met Johan.
Every question just to pop in, and be like, I already knew that.
No, absolutely not. No, I met Johan last year during the St. Jude charity stuff, because I found out, and you guys should take advantage of this because I think he still does it. He has a donation incentive reward where he will announce you like a wrestling ring announcer. Like he will give you a wrestling ring introduction.
Oh, that's rad.
So
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
You want to know what's funny though? The funniest thing is that has not been redeemed this year thus far during St. Jude Play Live Challenge season.
Well, you haven't.
It was redeemed like crazy last year, but this year,
last
no
year
one
was
has
when it
redeemed
was
it
fresh
yet.
and new when Izzy tweeted it out. So
Yeah.
Gotta get her to tweet it again. But
But to be fair, my stream times have been a bit wonky compared to last year, as I'm still like testing out waters here and there, because one of my goals this year, because I've had a crazy year thus far, being on national TV in Japan, doing a lot of other things as well. So I kind of want to carry that momentum forward as well. And one of my goals this year is to get partnered on Twitch, because I've been streaming for 6+ years on Twitch. I've done a lot, raised money for charity, been part of so many stream teams. I also stream Just Dance, and I've done some collaborations with the official Just Dance team as well, the YouTube channel and such. I also got interviewed for a BBC article as well. So it's like I've done so many of these things. The only thing that I've not accomplished or achieved yet is getting that purple badge next to my name. So I feel like that's the next step. That's the next thing I need to do, next thing I need to accomplish to, further on my journey as a streamer. So that's one of the things that I want to do this year. Hopefully it can happen this year. Hence why I've been trying out different schedules to see what works, what sticks, and how I can go about with it. So and aside from that, I'm also a ride-sharing driver, so my timing is quite flexible in that sense, and that allows me to figure out what my stream schedule is like too. So yeah, hopefully I can get partnered on Twitch this year, but if not, we'll try again next year.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
I keep trying to do my part, because the best part about his being literally on the other side of the world, literally on the other side of the clock, is I'll clock in at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning for my work, and then I'll be like, oh hey, Johan's on. Yeah, I'm gonna waste my first hour watching him.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with lurkers as well, so that's all good too.
Oh, that's all I do. That's all I do is lurk.
Yeah, that's all you do.
Yeah,
it is. But I know that we're wrapping up. So, Johan,
Yeah.
hit him with the links.
Plug away.
Plug away. This
Yeah.
is your chance.
Well, basically, I'm everywhere. Well, basically, you can find me just about everywhere except for Facebook in terms of social media. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Just about everywhere. Johan_singer for every single account as well. So yeah, you can pretty much find me just about anywhere if you want to keep up with me on social media too. So yeah.
I am gonna follow you now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bam, there we go. Oh, last stream was a Just Dance stream, it looks like.
Oh, he does a lot of Just Dances.
Yeah,
Just Dances
I
and
love that.
karaoke's.
Yeah, the karaoke Joy Sound and Just Dance streams are like I would say at this point in time, my main content, but I also stream other games as well. I'm actually going to be doing a crowd control stream in a few hours as well, because I have a donation goal of $1,000 to reach for St. Jude. So far I've reached 671. So this is like my last week. Yeah, this is like my last week before my fundraiser for St. Jude ends this year. So hopefully, I'm gonna try and squeeze in as many streams as I can to eventually reach $1,000. So I'm doing a crowd control stream in a few hours later. And then I might be doing streams on Wednesdays, on Wednesdays, Thursday, maybe Saturday and Sunday as well. If I can squeeze in a stream on Friday, I'll probably do so. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
What was that Fire Pro Wrestling that you were playing the other day? That was
I love that
Wrestling
game.
World. Yeah, I was playing Fire. So I decided to play Fire Pro Wrestling World on when Ace came in, because I had just gotten done watching Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom 2025, which to me, and maybe I'm being a bit biased here, but to me, that is like the best wrestling show of the year thus far. So, and a lot of things happened. Mayu Iwatani wrestled what would be her last match for Stardom, dropping the IWGP Women's Championship to Shuri. Starlight Kid and Azumi stole the show with their Wonder of Stardom Championship match. Then there was that cinematic, dramatic match that closed the show between Saya Kamitani and Tam Nakano as well. And I was still rocked by Nakano's retirement as well, because as someone who's a fan of her, I would not expect her to retire so soon, because there are a lot of things that she hasn't accomplished yet as well in her career. Even though she's done so much, in the several years that she had been wrestling as well, but it just felt surreal that her career has come to an end, and she didn't even get the traditional send off like a lot of Joshi wrestlers get, where they run a gauntlet or have a proper retirement ceremony. She was like, okay, we're just gonna have a really cinematic ending where I'm gonna go onto the stage with Saya Kamitani, look up to the sky, point to the heavens, and then blackout, fade out, and that's it. Career over. So I decided to dedicate much of my stream talking about the show and talking about how Tam Nakano meant to me. And that's when I fired up Fire Pro Wrestling World and played a few matches with her as well. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do another Fire Pro Wrestling World stream again, but we'll see how that goes. I know that last year I did a stream where I was playing a few PS2 Japanese wrestling games as well, which was kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I'll run it back again with Fire Pro Wrestling World. I don't know. We'll see.
That was a good promo. I'm just like, you got another follower in Ron. You probably got a few more from anybody that follows us, just because like wrestling is good. Spread wrestling all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But spread good vibes even more.
Well, yeah, of course. It's really cool, everything that you're doing over there in Malaysian Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fellow St. Jude charity streamer, I also respect everything you do in that regard as well. And ironically, that's how I found you, is Easy tweeting you out. And I was like, oh, I got to check this dude out. And then as I did, I was like, all right, I'm going to stick around. So, yeah. Thanks for everyone who hung out and watched the show. I did not see anyone's bring up any questions in chat, but I did see some people popping in here and there. So thanks for everyone who came in. Remember, you can always catch the Quick Pop podcast live every Monday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or however that works out according to you. Apparently 8 a.m. if you're over in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And follow us on all the socials as well, both for our individual ones as well as Quick Pop as well. And we release the podcast every Wednesday at whenever I remember to press the publish button, because oftentimes I will edit it, put it up there, and it does the bit where it's like uploading, and I'm like, all right, I'll come back to this in a minute. And then it'll be 5 p.m. and I go, oh, now. So thanks everyone for watching. I am exhausted and hungry. I don't know if anyone saw, I was eating my dinner while we were talking. It was lovely to speak with you, Johan. Got to get you on once you accomplish all your dreams, so you can tell us about those dreams once again.
Yeah, they're still all in July. If you want, if you want me back, or Forbidden Door as well, or anything. Yeah,
that sounds like a plan.
Fret not, because guess what? Quick Pop is going to y'all in. All three of us will be there.
Have fun at Globe Life for me.
I've got
y'all in for me.
I've got, dude, the sneak peek Ronathan.
What?
I'm ready. I got gimbals ready.
Oh, you got the gimbals.
I've got this. We're gonna go around interviewing people once we get those stickers brought out.
I love that. I love that.
Our first step is going to be that event that me and Jake are putting on for Memphis Championship Pro Wrestling, July 3rd.
I can't wait
to get those things done.
Whoa, wait, July 3rd or 5th?
5th.
There we are.
I remembered it was a day off July 4th, and sometimes I get those back and forth.
Can we officially start pimping that now, or is it official yet?
Bro, yeah, it's official. Like,
all right, July 5th, Ghost River, Memphis, Tennessee. Come see ya, boys, at the WWE 2K tournament. We'll be interviewing people. We'll be yelling at Dustin Starr and other Memphis wrestlers.
Oh, no. Specifically, we're going to go yell at Van Vicious.
We will be yelling at Van Vicious. If you see Van Vicious and we are not there yelling at him, we haven't showed up yet, because we will be there yelling at Van Vicious.
100%. Hope he brings his genuine Muppet skin coat once again. Thanks,
and
everyone,
all
for watching.
Chains.
Oh, yeah. Bargain bin Bret Hart.
Bargain bin Bret Hart.
Jesse the Body Ventura, you do know how a steel cage works. Have a good night.
Gotta love the buddy.
I still hate Dallas. I hate Dallas with a passion. Dallas, get fucked!